Another one. He's counting them.
Peter Grant.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. It's always a delight to follow the honourable member. I can reveal that his speeches are watched with great excitement in SNP headquarters. The single question is, how many more phone lines are we going to have to open for people to Looking back to April 2017, immediately after Article 50 was triggered, we knew that for 2 years nothing very much would change. But depending on the outcome of negotiations, nobody really knew what would happen after that. December 2018, we know that during a 2-year implementation period, nothing much is going to change, but nobody has got any idea what will happen after that. So 2 years, 2.5 years of the greatest efforts by the brightest buttons in the Tory box were no further forward than we were in April 2017. All they've done is bring back a deal, order us, not ask us, order us to support a deal that in every single aspect is immeasurably worse than the deal that we already have and the deal that our nation overwhelmingly voted to retain. And yesterday, without a hint of irony, the Prime Minister warned about damaging the integrity of our democracy. A Prime Minister who broke a promise not to call a snub election, broke a promise to give Parliament a vote last week, a party that allowed 2 self-confessed gross misconduct MPs back in just to let them vote in a leadership contest, and the government, the first government in history to be in contempt of Parliament. Mr Deputy Speaker, if the government are worried about a loss of trust in the integrity of our politics, I suggest to get themselves a very large mirror and spend some time in front of it. And if they want to know about millions of people who are wondering whether this facade of a democracy is ever going to deliver, they should not only speak to but listen to some of the 62% in Scotland who voted to remain with the deal we already have, or indeed to some of the 71% in Northern Ireland who voted for a peace process which right now is not guaranteed under Brexit, and which, even if the Prime Minister's deal is accepted, still will not have a guaranteed long-term future. The Prime Minister claims to have listened to Parliament. The Prime Minister has listened to Parliament in the way that a defence lawyer listens to the case for the prosecution. Absolutely no prospect of budging an inch from her position, but listening for potential clues as to how she can impose her will on everyone else. She told us yesterday that it wasn't about expressing our personal views. Expressing our personal views is not what we are here to do. She then, in response to 23 different members of Parliament, expressed her personal views about what was right and what was wrong. So when the Prime Minister says we're not here to express our personal views, what she really means is we're here to listen to her personal views, and then David Weirtel, regardless of what 649 other members of Parliament and 60 million other people might think is best. Mr Deputy Speaker, that is not a parliamentary democracy, that is an elected dictatorship. And when the word elected in that phrase refers to a Prime Minister without a parliamentary majority, without the confidence of a third of our own MPs, opposed by nearly 58% of those who voted in 2017, Mr Deputy Speaker, that elected dictatorship becomes dangerously close to an unelected dictatorship. Had the Prime Minister not run away from debate last week, we would have been discussing the Union for 8 hours on Tuesday. The question for Scotland is, which Union? Mr Speaker, the day is fast approaching when the people of Scotland will be asked whether they want a true partnership of equals union, such as is enjoyed by our friends in Ireland, or a so-called partnership of equals, which even today has demonstrably treated our nation and our nation's elected representatives with absolute contempt. Mr Deputy Speaker, when that question is asked, and it will be asked very soon, the answer from the sovereign citizens of Scotland will be as emphatic and as final as it is inevitable.
Lord Graham.